The eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
Welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. I am your host, Andres Quintana from the Raleigh area of North Carolina. And today I am so excited because we have a special show for you on the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. But I want to remind everyone that eAssist for the second year in a row has reached the 500 list of fastest growing private companies in America. The other thing I want to remind you is that eAssist, we have a contact number of 844-327-7478. And if you want to get in touch with us, just simply go to dentalbilling.com or eAssist.com. So today, I don't want to delay any longer. We have a very, very special guest, and her name is Michele Pennington. She is the team leader of the new client information specialist department at eAssist Dental Solutions. Michele, how are you today?
Hi, Andre. I am wonderful. How are you?
You know, Michele, I am so thrilled because we've been trying to get us on the line together, because now we can truly say that we are a team on the new client information specialist team, right?
We are.
I know we are. And I use the word team so much because we really, truly, we remind ourselves every single day how much of a team we represent. What are your thoughts?
We do. We work so well together. We cover each other. We answer the calls. We help each other out. When another doctor calls that one of us has worked with, we just talk to them like they're ours. I love it.
That is great. And I also want to thank another member of the team, Monique Long, because she has recently moved into another area of eAssist, opening up this opportunity for me, right? So can you talk a little bit about Monique and what she has meant to the team?
I have worked with Monique for years in the new client information specialist team, and she held the position that you're currently filling, and we do miss her, but at the same time, we have not missed a beat. You have come in and filled her shoes, and she has taken over and is directing an exciting new service that we offer, insurance verification. So Monique still helps us out some, and we love her and miss having her with us daily, but like I said, we haven't missed a beat. You have been fantastic, Andreas.
Thank you. And then let's also give a shout out to our amazing leader, Dr. Anderson, and also Sandy Gutierrez. Can you speak a little bit about those leaders for us?
Absolutely. There are no two people in the world that are as amazing. They came up with the concept of eAssist for outsourcing dental billing initially, and it's just grown from there. They are generous, giving, caring people. Dr. Anderson and Sandy came up with this concept when his office, Dr. Anderson's dental practices, needed help with their insurance accounts receivables, and it just grew from there into what it is now.
Amazing. So speaking of that, we can get right into it and talk about, you use the words completely outsource your medical or dental billing department. And that is what eAssist truly represents. And I'm going to start simply with our dental accounting and bookkeeping, because we have really, I think you mentioned we have 5 or 6 services, Michele. How many are we up to now? 6. Right?
We're up to 6, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna try, because I'm the rookie here, so I'm gonna give it a try. It is the dental bookkeeping and accounting. We have the dental billing department, which is our core product, right? We have patients accounts receivable. I know I'm gonna forget one. We have the dental insurance verification, dental medical billing, and there's one more that credential.
It's also brand new. That's it.
That's it. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I'm proud of
credentialing.
myself.
Yeah, you got all 6.
I got all 6. Can you
did.
speak a little bit about all these services, Michele?
I would be happy to. Insurance accounts receivables is the core product, as you said, and what it does is for offices that need to outsource the time-consuming, detail-oriented pieces of their practice that are the first thing that goes on the back burner in a practice, because it's not a face-to-face patient or a telephone call patient. And though it is imperative that it's taken care of, because it is the bread and butter of most practices, that's why it's so important to have people like we do that work for eAssist or work with eAssist to fill those positions in these offices, because staff turnover is inevitable and different people come in with different skill levels. The people that work with eAssist pass a series of tests. We only have a 30% pass rate on our tests. So we just have the best people to take care of that for all our dental practices. Dr. Anderson, being a dentist, thinks like dentists think, and so our fees are extremely low. We place 2 people on each team that have experience and knowledge in the field. We work every state in the United States, East Coast out to Hawaii, and what we do for insurance AR, or insurance accounts receivable, also called dental billing, is we make attachments, submit claims, follow up on all open claims, appeal denied claims, and post payments and adjustments. That's insurance AR.
That's the insurance AR. Yeah, and just
right.
If somebody is calling in, and it's that the only name, I've talked to so many doctors, and they can't believe when I run down the list of things that we do with just that service alone, which is the sending out claims, attaching x-rays, and doing anything to get the claim from point A to point B. And then I talk about the posting and the detailed notes that take place into each patient's accounts. Wow.
Right.
They're floored.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yes.
And we don't charge that much, honestly, for the work that's done with, you might be able to hire one person, but probably not with state and federal income tax and paid time off and all the other benefits that dentists offer their staff. That you don't have all that cost with eAssist, and you get 2 people. I think that's amazing.
I had a doctor I spoke. This is a success story, and I'm an EagleSoft guy, right? And one of the examples I used was when we're posting in the office, we tend to do the write-off and the posting, and sometimes the wrong amount goes into the wrong patient because it's a large family and everything gets kind of mixed together. And then when you're sending a bill home, the patient doesn't know what they're getting. And the doctor said, that happens in my office too. I can't stand it. Because then the patient is in the chair saying, "Doctor, your billing is all messed up." Is that something you experience?
Absolutely. And do you know that is the number one reason patients leave a practice? Over the billing.
I didn't know.
It's true. And and that's why it's so important for the people that we place on the teams for the offices. That's why it's so important for us to check their background and their knowledge. And so that's why I think it speaks just so loudly that we only have a 30% pass rate. I've had office managers for 25 years of service not pass those tests, and they are not happy. But they are impressed that that's who we have working with us.
Wow. Okay, I'm getting excited here. There are more services, Michele, so come on, tell me more.
I know. Okay, all right. The next one, it kind of goes hand in hand with the insurance accounts receivable, is patient accounts receivable. And it is an add-on service. It's our only service. It's not a standalone service. In other words, in order to have patient accounts receivable, you have to already be utilizing insurance accounts receivable. And the reason for that is because we don't start them simultaneously. The patient accounts receivable starts as soon as somewhere between 60 and 90 days, because we want to give that insurance AR team time to get a really good cross-section of the ledgers. And they are posting payments and they're investigating open claims, so they see a lot of ledgers in 60 to 90 days. What we're looking for is to make sure that whomever was posting prior to eAssist coming on the team, posted correctly, adjusted correctly. And I actually talked to a girl myself just yesterday, and she said they were not familiar with secondary insurance. And so they have a big sign in their office that they don't take it, but the doctor had made a few exceptions with some patients. And what they wound up doing was writing off the contract adjustment for the primary and the secondary, both. And so what that resulted in is a credit for the patient. The patient had paid no money to see the doctor and was not due any money back. You don't get paid to go see the dentist, but that was just, and that's something that, of course, we're well aware of, and we make sure that hasn't happened in the past and doesn't happen once we come on. So then we're ready to go into patient portion, patient accounts receivables. And what we do with that is we determine which patients will receive a billing statement, and then we send those electronically, and another company, whomever they're sending their claims through, will drop those bills to paper and mail them out. What makes it unique is that we obtain a telephone number that will display as coming from the doctor's office, so their patients are comfortable speaking with us. Those telephone numbers print on the billing statement, and then if the patient is non-responsive to those billing statements, then we'll send a series of collection letters, and each time the collection letter goes out, we call the patient. The patient has access to that phone number so that a lot of the calls of what I call angry patient calls don't go to the office. They come to the eAssist team member, and we can address with them why they owe a balance. And it really is helpful for the doctor to have set up a way for the patients to pay while we're on the phone with them. And if we can help them understand why they owe a balance, then they're more likely to pay. I'm not going to say they're happy to pay, but they're content to pay because they understand that, when you're verifying insurance benefits, they give you a disclaimer. And if they didn't pay what we estimated they would pay based on what they told us, that the patient might owe a balance. And so we're able to explain that and help them remain calm and compliant in paying their balances. So that's patient accounts receivable.
That sounds amazing. I've gotten some questions about it. So thank you for that explanation. So where would you go next? So if a doctor wanted to have the next best thing to complement those two, where next?
Dental accounting. Dental accounting is, honestly, we all know, and it's an unfortunate fact, that embezzlement is rampant in the dental community. And so dental accounting checks the bank account against the software day sheet every day. If they find any discrepancy, then they simply alert the doctor and he or she can address it. It doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's doing something wrong on purpose. Sometimes there's, human error and mistakes do happen, but we do need, to help them catch that immediately instead of later, years later, when tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars have gone missing and they don't know where it went.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because what happens with an office where the doctor gets the EFT, but, it's very difficult to give access to your bank account to a team member. Isn't that important to really help the doctors balance those EFTs and use someone?
It truly is.
Right. Like, if you don't want to use someone in your office, but someone that is an accountant, for example, to help you do that. Is that one of the main features for the service? That's the base feature for the service. And it's really important to have that. If you don't have somebody doing it, then you need this service, because what you're doing is checking to make sure every EFT that is posted in the ledgers is actually deposited to your bank account. Also imperative, because we still have a lot of paper checks that go to offices, but back in the day is what I always say. When we would call an insurance company to ask about a claim that we still showed open, and they would say, we sent the check 2 or 3 months ago. Well, we didn't receive the check, so then we know to ask for a stop pay and reissue. It's the same thing with the electronic funds transfer. Those direct deposits,
what if they didn't make it to your bank account and yet we've credited all those patients because they're usually bulk payments? All those patients are going to receive credit for it, and yet the doctor doesn't have the money in his or her bank account. So it's really important to have that done on pretty much on a daily basis, I think. A lot of offices that do it internally do it once a week, but it makes reconciliation of the bank account much easier. And that's the second service that you can get under dental accounting. We have a bookkeeping service that reconciles your bank account to your day sheet, and that's really useful for, say, journal entry. And journal entry helps you know the fiscal health of your practice. You've all been to, the conferences where they tell you should keep your salary for the office as a whole within a certain percentage, and your disposables between like 4 and 6%. At the end of the month, if you're using dental accounting with bookkeeping, you can look at all the journal entries and you look at your disposables. If they're at 4%, then hey, you've got 2%. You could be buying a few more disposables. Or if you're at 7 or 8, you need to either negotiate with your supplier or distributor, or you need to cut your spending a little bit and not keep quite so many of those little dollars pads,
That's right.
So that's dental accounting with bookkeeping. We also have a piece in dental accounting where they can pay the bills for the office. We also have a piece where they can do your payroll for the office. And last and certainly not least, if you want to keep everything under one umbrella, we can also obtain a CPA who specializes in dentistry to do your federal and state taxes on a quarterly basis and annual basis. So that's dental accounting, and it is super exciting. That is headed by Regina Bellet.
And Regina is going to be on the podcast very soon. So we're trying to really arrange that. Yes. So we're going to hear we have some surprises here. Okay, Michele. So we're going to hear about the rest of the services. Then we're actually going to do a little role play too. I'm going to be the doctor and you're going to be the Michele Pennington. But before we do that, let's take a little break and we will be right back.
You know your practice is losing money. You just don't know why. Office managers are often overwhelmed with juggling insurances, patients, scheduling, and staff. eAssist Dental Solutions has the answer. By outsourcing your dental billing efforts with eAssist, your patients become your sole focus. With eAssist on your side, you will feel the burden of insurance collections lifted off your shoulders. Visit us at www.dentalbilling.com today to find out more information.
So we are back at the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast with Michele Pennington. Michele, so you were going down the list of services at eAssist. Can you tell me more?
I can. The next service is one that is really up and coming in a lot of dental practices because of the changes in insurance, and it is dental medical billing. And what that consists of is medical cross-coding. So you tell your dental medical billing team what procedure or procedures either are going to be performed or were performed. So you have three choices. We can verify the medical coverage, so insurance verification for medical benefits. We can do pre-authorizations, or we can create claims for dental medical billing. So we take the dental procedure and cross-code it to the medical CPT code with the ICD-10 diagnosis code. Very useful because there are tens of thousands of codes possible just for the CPT codes alone. And then the diagnosis codes, I don't even know how many, way too many to think about. But it's a really useful thing because a lot of people have coverage under their medical carrier at a much higher lifetime maximum than the smaller dental benefit that's offered to most people. And it helps the dentist, it helps the patient bring in more insurance benefit and less out of pocket for the patient. So everybody loves dental medical billing.
Wow. That's
and
sounds
that is
amazing.
headed currently by Stephanie Fario.
Oh, Stephanie. Yeah, she was on the podcast
Yes,
very
right.
early on. Sure, sure. You got to go listen to her. All you have to do is you go to our apps, Stitcher, Google Play, or iTunes, and just if you hear some of the names that we are mentioning, just go ahead and dial them in. Listen to Dr. Anderson's episode. I have that one memorized as number 19, and you will learn a lot about our services. But go ahead, Michele.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So exciting that in April 1st this year, we introduced 2 new services. We have insurance verification, which has been in production and beta for some time. We have learned a lot in putting this together, and we are so excited to be able to offer it to not only our current clients, but our any dental practice in the United States that needs help with insurance verification. It is a very time-consuming process to call and wait on hold for people to just hear a disclaimer that that's what they might or might not pay, but it's imperative that we do it. I think it's a cornerstone of every practice to know because the patient doesn't even necessarily know their carrier, much less their benefits. And so we need to know that to give them the best possible estimate for what their treatment plan is going to look like. So Monique Long, our prior team member, and she's still working in the background, so I don't mean to say that she's not part of the new client information specialist team either. Just right now she's focusing on really getting this piece off the ground, and she's doing a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
I get so many calls that say, I talked with Monique, and they're just loving what she's doing. So what it consists of is we have 2 choices. You can either choose verification with data entry, which means your eAssist team is going to enter the insurance verification information into your software, or we have without verification. And that just means that the team member who calls and gets the verification will give the verification to the office, and then someone in the office can enter that information. And like I said, it's really up and coming, and we're hearing a lot about it, and we talk a lot about it on a daily basis. So that's insurance verification. We have 2 types. You have extensive verification, which is what people traditionally think of as verification. It's the full coverage breakdown with the percentages by category and exclusions and limitations and frequencies, and then maybe a few of either your more expensive major services that are often provided in your practice, or just several that you do the most often. It's your choice. We'll use the extensive verification that you use in your office. Of course, if you need a little help tweaking that or creating one, Monique is expert in that, and she will certainly be happy to help you with that. And then last but not least, we also offer credentialing, and that is extremely exciting. That is Rebecca Rucker, and what she does is, and I'm sorry, Kristen Marley also works with Rebecca Rucker on credentialing. They are mentoring our teams to actually be the credentialers, our account executives and account managers that are already working in your office with insurance accounts receivable. And what they do is you just tell them, let's say you add a new associate to your practice and he or she is not credentialed yet. Well, honestly, the law states that they have to be credentialed. But insurance companies have set a precedent that you can bill that associate's work under the doctor owner for a little while. While we know that that's not the legal way to handle things, it takes a while to get credentialed. And so they've set that precedent that allow us to do that. So we get right on it and get them credentialed as quickly as we possibly can. And the fees are very low. It's a $99 setup fee and $125 per contract. And again, we're hearing ravings about that. And it's not only for new credentialing though, but each year you have to re-credential with a lot of the carriers, and we will do those at the same rate.
Wow.
That's all of our products right now.
Those are our products. And you threw some names out there that are huge. Like, for example, we and we can mention Rebecca Rucker. She was also on the
Absolutely.
podcast. Early on, we had one of my favorite people, which is Lorena Puga, who works in our office. And, we always share success stories. We ask our team members, how has eAssist changed your life? But the truth is I sometimes look at it and I say to myself, how has eAssist changed my life? Because I'm here with you working and talking to doctors and office managers, and it's because eAssist has also changed my life as well. But some of those names are Rebecca Avey, by the way, Tanya Valencia, we've had, Rebecca Rucker, you name it. I could, Stephanie, we mentioned Stephanie Fario, and we have so many more people to get on the show that make eAssist really great. So now we are going to move into our role play session, because we promised each other that we would, give the audience something like that to experience. So what are your thoughts about that?
I can't wait.
Are you ready?
Let's
so
go.
I am a doctor.
I'm ready.
I am a doctor calling in. Okay. And I get I get a Ruby call. You get a Ruby call, and
I do.
it is Dr. Quintana on the phone.
Sure.
And hello. I've heard so much about your services. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
I certainly can. Dr. Quintana, thank you for calling us today. How did you find out about eAssist?
Well, I did a search online and I've heard so many great things, but I also know some dentists that use your services and they're so happy. So it's just a combination of things. But I just have some questions first. Sure. I just need to know what it takes. Like, how do you do it? Like, I know I'm already sold because of some of the recommendations that I have received, but how do you do this? How do you make it happen?
Wonderful. Okay, I'll just go straight into that. Well, the first thing that we do is we create a connection to your office using a virtual private network so that we remain HIPAA compliant. We can either make that connection to your server or to dedicated PCs. And that's a conversation that you will have later with our IT department when we get to that point. But I just want you to know that conversation's coming, so you can be thinking about it. And now we're able to log in to your practice management software. So what software do you use?
I use EagleSoft.
Fantastic. We love EagleSoft. So now we can log into your EagleSoft. And what happens is as you walk the patient out each time, you'll create the claim, right?
Yes, but I have a question first. Do I need like extra computers? Or, what do I need to do? Because my staff is very busy and I can't interrupt what they do.
Right. Well, that depends on what you choose and what you have available. If you have a Windows-based server that is a true server, it's set aside and nobody uses it for work, then it came with terminal services. And we can just turn on those terminal services, there are two, and create the connection that we need from there so that we're not interrupting anybody in your staff.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more then. How do you do it? Just tell me how you get to do everything you do. Okay.
So you've created the claim by walking the patient out, and that's where you leave off and where your eAssist team picks up. So are your x-rays digital or analog?
They're digital.
Excellent. And you keep your excellent clinical notes in EagleSoft, right, Dr. Quintana?
Absolutely. All the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, and your staff sends your claims electronically, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So the claim is now created, and your eAssist team logs in on a daily basis and looks at every claim. If the claim needs an attachment, whether it's an x-ray or a photo, a perio chart, or even a narrative, we'll create the narrative from your clinical notes, and then we will submit those claims electronically the same way you do now. So you will maintain the attachment and the submission claim service, and we'll just utilize what you have in place. Okay?
So you mean to tell me that your eAssist specialist will go in there and do all the claim submission and they know exactly what X-ray a procedure needs. So my staff
That
doesn't.
is right.
So my staff doesn't have to do anything with claims anymore.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Wow.
I know.
I'm going to tell you something. I have the best team I have ever had in my 10 years of practice. And I really want everybody to remain on the team. But what I want is have the patient get more attention. And with this day and age of social media and all the reviews that can go, right away, basically, when a patient leaves an office, you can have a good or a bad review. And I really want to put focus into that so that all of their friends and neighbors can see how good our office really is. Is that
That's
something
right.
that
and
you
that
can
is
help with?
absolutely, that's the buzzword of today, or that's how people expect to be pampered wherever they go. It's just where we are in our society, okay? And when they come to your office and you make them feel special from the time they walk in the door to the time they walk out, that's where you're going to get your good reviews, your great reviews. And with eAssist, concentrating on these time-consuming, detail-oriented pieces, that's where your staff, which we never recommend that you fire anybody, just repurpose them. And if you don't have a list going of other things that need to be done, I can help you with that. I used to be an office manager, I'm happy to do that. But eAssist will be focusing on the duties that fully commit to your bottom line, and so that your in-office staff can focus on your patients, and patient relationships are huge.
Now, Michele, I just got one more question before I sign up, because this sounds like really amazing. And it's a little bit hard to ask this question, but I'm not proud of where my 90 days really is right now. Is that something that you can help, my 90 days balance from insurance?
Oh, absolutely. That's the second thing. After we've sent the claims, then we're going to run your insurance aging report. And we are going to investigate every claim on your report that is less than 2 years old. We generally don't do the claims that are less than 2 weeks, because the insurance companies often tell us they have 30 days to pay. And so sometimes we won't even check them for the first 30 days, but generally it's 2 weeks out to 2 years. Every claim will be checked, and the status notes are kept in EagleSoft so you can keep up with what we're doing with the claims. And if a claim is denied for a collectible benefit, we will appeal the claim, again, using every tool that you allow us in EagleSoft, your notes, sometimes perio charts, photos, x-rays, whatever we can have. Then we'll create compelling appeals and appeal those. If a claim is denied for terminated coverage, we'll let you know, and it depends on the relationship that you build with your eAssist team as to how soon you probably want them to make those calls to your patients. But initially, you may have your in-office staff calling to get updated insurance information. And once that's in there, then the claim just falls back into the process. Now, that's the second thing. We do one more thing, and you're going to love this. We post your payments and adjustments from insurance as well. We line item post, and we keep a template of the entire adjudication of the claim, so you never even really have to look at an EOB again. It tells everything about the claim, how much was submitted, accepted, a deductible, a contract adjustment, the patient's responsibility, and then there's a little place for notes at the bottom of that. So if a claim paid less than we estimated, the reason for that would be in that note, so that when the patient calls and asks why they received a statement, it's right there, and anybody in the office answering the phone can answer that question.
Wow. Well, I am really excited about this, because the friends that I have telling me about eAssist have told me that eAssist has just been a game changer for them, and that their teams are really happy about the office coming to work. So excited. I've heard that you can now take, time off and, not be worried about who takes the time off and how it's going to impact the office. So, Michele, yeah,
so
go ahead.
Let me tell you on the posting of the payments a little bit about how that happens, because I need you to know this one piece. It's really important. The EFTs, those that pay you by direct deposit, you'll just give us that information in your onboarding paperwork, the websites and the login credentials, and we will go out and gather that information and bring it back in and post it for you. The paper checks and EOBs and anything else that comes from insurance, requests for further information or denials, what have you, you will scan those to us on a daily basis. And we do ask that you purchase your scanners through us. It is your only initial cost with eAssist. They are $500. On the third page of your onboarding paperwork, it will ask you for a credit card. You put that in, it charges the $500 and ships you the scanner. Then it tracks to our IT team so they know when it gets to your office that they can call and make an appointment for the best time in your day for them to install it remotely. Isn't that awesome?
That sounds really great. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because you want to be, I'm assuming that you use a really great scanner that can minimize all the mistakes, correct?
We do. We use the Fujitsu ScanSnap IX500. And some offices do have those already, but we ask that you utilize this one that you purchased through us, dedicate it to the scanning of these EOBs and other things from insurance for your eAssist team so that a scan is never lost.
What I like about it, Michele, is that my team will only have to scan a stack of EOBs, right? And checks, is that what you said?
Right.
They scan it,
sir.
and then they don't do anything more. I think one of my doctors that I know said that you just have to fill out a simple form, but you don't really have to post anything. Is that right?
That is right. So that's the scan cover sheet, and then of course the checks are in your office, so you deposit them as you normally would.
I mean, that takes 15 minutes, doesn't it? Or less.
To post them or to deposit it?
To scan that process. I mean, I'm so excited because because
it shouldn't even take. Well, you had to open the mail anyway, and you're creating one stack, and it's an auto feeder, so you can put that whole stack on there. Press the button and you're done.
What I like about it is that
I would say 5 minutes. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and right now I have someone posting, for example, on a Monday, on a very busy Monday with all this mail that comes in, it just takes too long. So I really, really love this. So, well,
thank you,
Michele. I want you to send me information on how to sign up. Okay, I will look at everything. And would you be able to call me tomorrow?
Absolutely. I have your telephone number and I have your email address already from the call through our receptionist. And so I'll send you an email. I'll send you a second email that has my personal contact information and a link to my calendar. If you prefer to schedule a time that's best in your day, follow that link. Any other time, you just pick up the phone and call my cell. I am here for you.
Yeah, well, tomorrow is Friday, and I'm not seeing any patients, so I would love to pick up this conversation, and if I think of any last-minute questions, I will ask you in our talk tomorrow. Michele, thank you so much.
That's wonderful. No, thank you, Dr. Quintana. Thank you so much for calling eAssist. We appreciate you. Is there a best time of day I may call you?
Yeah, let's do 10 a.m. tomorrow.
And that's 10 Eastern time. I will call you then.
All right. Well, thank you, Michele. Yes.
Thank you.
That was great.
I know, right?
And
I have so much fun. Don't you just love our job?
I love it. I love it because the thing is that this really, really happens. We change people's lives every single day.
We do. The doctors love it because we affect their bottom line positively, impact that. The office staff loves it because they don't have to do this time-consuming, these duties that are so time-consuming. And the doctor definitely asks when things are not going well. If your insurance AR is high, they don't like that. Of course they don't like that. That's money sitting out there that's owed to them. And so we help with that. And every day, it's an amazing thing. It's a very, very, I think, as Dr. Anderson says, this is a noble cause. And everybody wants to be part of something that's bigger than they are.
It's an amazing thing. You heard Michele. Call us today at our toll-free number, which is 1-844. And just remember, 1-844 eAssist. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to have a consultation with Michele. I mean, it is so easy. She makes everything from the moment I called 2 years ago. I go back sometimes because I have access to that information. And I looked at the date just a few days ago, and I'm like, I can't believe it's been 2 years already since I have been on board as a client with eAssist,
Right.
changing our lives. And I truly appreciate that you took my call 2 years ago, Michele, and that now
it was so fun.
and that now we're on a podcast together. Isn't this great?
And we're a team. It is great. Listen, I want to give just a quick plug, and I
Yes.
hope you don't mind.
No.
For
No.
our people at eAssist.
Yes,
we
please
are
do.
having Summit in Utah this year, and I just want to really encourage you to come. If you've been before, come and see the people that you work with. If you've never been, it's an amazing experience. You get to meet Dr. Anderson and Sandy and Judd and Melinda and Ruth, and they're, those are our C team. Ruth is our administrative assistant, and they are who began, and Tanya and Rebecca will be there, and Andreas and I will be there, and just come because it's going to be so fantastic. You learn and you have fun, and it's just a great time to be together. Thanks for that opportunity, Andreas. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And one more thing that I have, besides reminding everybody to go to eAssist.com or dentalbilling.com, is that if you're someone out there working in the dental field and you would like to have a career with eAssist, to become an account manager or an account executive, please go to our website and go to the careers section. You can instant message us there as well, and we will guide you to where you need to go. Michele, thank you so much for being here tonight. I really, really enjoyed it so much.
Me too. Oh, thank you so much for having me, Andreas. It was a great time. As always, I love it.
As always. And I just want to wish everybody at eAssist, our eAssisters and eAssist Nation, as well as all the doctors listening from your cars, on your power walk, on your jog, wherever you are. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great week.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.